Yeah, they say please don't take it there. We gon' take it there. Better not play with that game, the boys ain't playing fun. Get that low, the boys gon' spin just like a state fair. Yeah, better not call me twin, cause I don't care. Slimy gang, better not show your hand. Nigga, I triple double dare. No, I'm strapped up everywhere. Big lock in my underwear. Nigga gon' die, he think he gangsta. Bitch think he the toughest hill. No, I keep that fire, keep that bitch like a souvenir. Since I was just like the 4th of July, one chop, you'd think it was 2 in here. Yeah, nigga drill, he playing this bitch, no, I got that screw in here. So much different clips, you'd think we was making a movie in here. Like we do magic, that stick and poof his ass, he disappeared. Come on, ain't got see a chain, Zoo come here, let me whisper in your ear. He got racks, bet my shooter go crack his ass like a counter bill. Got his addy, we gon' up that skull like we play for the Cavaliers. Up that Drake, nigga hit with this bitch, gon' crawl like a caterpillar. Know he want no shooter, sooner we hot in the car, nigga sat in the middle. Nigga be acting gangster, he sweet as hell like a pack of skills. I ain't gon' speak on no shit I did if it want my target was accidental. Swing the dough, crash the rental, ops inside the blender. Just told me her name like 15 minutes ago and I can't remember. Try to think about last time I was broke, nigga, I can't remember. They like Zay, fuck you got on the coat, nigga, it ain't December. Taking this Draco, fuck nigga play with his life, get cold like winter. Fuck nigga play, he get poked, but this bitch more than a splinter. I don't want that bitch, he simping about that hoe and I already hit her. Saying it smoke, he tripping about that bitch, he might go kill her. Keep my pistol, I don't fuck with niggas, I'm get rich head off hill. Get his load, cap on his ass, we fry his ass just like a skillet. That switch, let's get it. Beat they block, won't take me a minute. Hit they car, I don't care who in it. Better not pull up fast with your windows tinted. Police asking questions, mine ain't Benny, I ain't in it. Hate when niggas be thinking they created a wave and they ain't invented. How you gon' tell us to push up to your hood and you ain't even in it? I was gon' take that shit to the next step, young niggas already did it. Fresh as hell, that 6K for the Montclair with the Montclair fitted. Nigga, come on, off the top of my head, I swear I been rapping for more than a minute. Yeah, we load up in cars, get that drop, we gon' hop right in it. I can tell my young nigga chill, I swear he addicted to spinning. Alright, come on.
I swear he addicted to spinning. Get on his ass, boom, boom, boom. I'm telling him, back to back, this shit ain't running. Hey, shit, get your bitch in. Hey, y'all know what the fuck going on. Tap the fuck in. Bitch, we got this Carolina shit. Fuck you if you ain't with it. Shit, get your bitch in. Dracos make your shit split.